the third attribute of an elegant woman is having self-confidence. And I can't say that enough. But the self-confidence doesn't come from the clothes. The self-confidence comes from the self-awareness. And I mean deep self-awareness. An elegant woman works on herself. You don't just go about life saying, well, if that's how I feel, I'm just going to operate like that. It hasn't failed me before. But maybe it has. You just didn't know because you haven't taken the time to look at how your behavior impacts the people around you, or impacts your thinking, or impacts your surroundings. Why are you in this jam? Why are you not living the life that you want to live? But you're stuck constantly in this emotional up and down because you haven't learned to manage your emotions, starting with deep self-awareness. This is essential, especially for women, when we take on a lot of other people's concerns. We're always concerned about what's going on with our children, how are our children feeling, what's going on with our mate, how is our mate doing, what's going on with, our parents or at work, or even with the battle of keeping the house clean. That was always my Achilles heel, comparing my housekeeping skills to somebody else's, and they have tons more time to do than what I did, or they were more diligent at organization than I was or am. And that's just based on a different type of upbringing. But for women, we really need to become introspective so we can handle these emotions, so we can not just be beholden to what everyone else's whims and needs are, but we can address those needs, but we prioritize ours, and we don't look at it as being selfish. It is very necessary for you to manage your emotions, because women often grapple with self-doubt, and we can develop a skewed perception of our self-worth because we haven't given ourselves enough time to be introspective or do self-care. So you want to do self-care, but the self-care doesn't matter if you haven't taken the time to work on your emotions. Then self-care, yeah, you might need a break, but what is it really doing? Self-awareness leads to an understanding of the true value and of your capabilities, and it fosters a confident demeanor. And when you have a confident demeanor, you're not easily shaken by what somebody's opinions are or some circumstance that just happens to come up. You know that you can handle it because this inner confidence radiates outwardly. It's not just inside. Once you develop the right thinking, then it again, handling your emotions impacts your thinking impacts your behavior, and your behavior impacts your environment. So it can't help but radiate outwardly. So once you develop that sense of self-confidence inside, then it's going to spread to your thinking, the way that you behave, and then your environment. And it contributes to a poised and sophisticated presence for yourself. And it does trickle down to your kids. I remember going to a parent teacher conference when Morgan was in the 7th or 8th grade. And this teacher had never met me, and it was her first semester with Morgan. And as soon as we came in and we greeted, she's like, oh, well, now I see why she's so poised. So listen, it's not just about you, is it? Girl, no, it's about everything that you touch. Okay. The other thing is that you only get one time to make a first impression. So how you show up with confidence, with a certain type of attitude, or if your appearance is appropriate, all of that is important to being an elegant person. The freedom of expression gives you the freedom to think outside the box. Okay, so how you express yourself in your appearance, if that's going to build your confidence, and then it's going to go into other areas. You'll start thinking differently once you start gathering more information, because now you want to be elevated. You want to seek out more information so you can become more sophisticated. You like the feeling of being respected. You like the feeling of hearing your voice being worth something. You like having self-worth and not settling for things just because that's what's given to you, but you are curating the life that you desire because you are becoming the person who is going to live in that beautiful environment and have those beautiful trappings and be able to work in a manner that pleases you and works for you so that you will have life fulfillment. Oh my goodness, it all just ties together. You know that, right? So the point is to know where you're going, and that takes contemplation. Who's going to be there when you get there? That's what you're setting up as well. And how should you show up to best represent who you are and what you want out of life? You can imagine a life where every day is a harmonious blend of beauty and intelligence. Like I have all the stuff around me that I like. I'm not in these senseless, useless arguments about things that don't even matter. I'm not on social media battling somebody because I don't like what they posted. You know, harmonious blend of beauty and intelligence. You are curious. You want more information. You want to do more. You want to have wonderful experiences. Can you imagine a life where your interactions are not just conversations, but they're cultivated exchanges that enrich your soul? Have you ever just met somebody at a coffee shop, or you're making a transaction somewhere and you just strike up a conversation and the conversation is a real good one? You go away with something. You feel like you had a dialogue with someone and you were contributing and they were contributing. It was about something meaningful and you feel motivated or inspired to do something or to have a different experience. You have more of those. Why wouldn't you want more of those type of exchanges? But it starts with you. So cultivating a life of sophisticating empowerment starts with becoming an emotional planner. Emotional planner does more than just address bad emotional triggers. See, that's where we haven't gotten yet. I said we haven't gotten. That's where we haven't gone yet. It's not just about addressing those triggers that have you cursing or have you stuck. Being an emotional planner, you're a person who also plans for the emotions and feelings that you desire, the things that are good. Feelings like curiosity and joy and happiness, tranquility and fulfillment are all developed by emotional planning. So just like you make a plan for those things that send you off, make a plan for those things that feel good. You can do that. Like maybe you enjoy taking a 5-minute walk, but it's really hard for you to do that because at work you can't leave the desk, you only have 25 minutes for lunch, or you're always in meetings, or maybe when you get home you have so many responsibilities that it's hard for you to get that walk. But look, plan it. There are 24 hours in a day. A 5-minute walk is just what, 5 minutes. So the most you have to do is let people know, hey, I'm not going to be available for the next 10 minutes.